Captain on the bridge.
Alright, captains, we are back on the bridge, and today I have been wanting to do this video for the longest time, but have been busy with in real life duties. So here we go on screen. Now, captains, you know it doesn't take much for me to take inspiration to make any of the builds that I do in Star Trek Online. And one of them was from the last episode of Strange New Worlds. So what we're going to do is play the video, then go onto the bridge of Star Trek Online, go over the build and how I plan on trying to quote-unquote emulate the canon look, take it into an advanced Argala, and I'll explain that, and then give my final conclusion. So here we go. First thing we're going to do is show what I'm taking inspiration from, and it's this scene right here in the battle from the Romulan and the Farragut. So I'm going to play this without sound because I don't want to get copyright strike. So we don't need the sound anyways. So here we go. Of course, it's on the bridge here. We see that the Romulan uncloaked right behind the Farragut, and this scene happens. This glorious pew pew scene. So now, keep in mind, we are seeing a bunch of these green bolts come in or come out firing from the Talish ship. And here's the inspiration right here. Kabam! So that's when they get hit with the red beach ball of death. And of course, we see the Talish flying off. So that is the inspiration that I use for this build. Now, keep in mind, captains, as always, I just do this for fun and matches our nightly pew pew shenanigans. So close this off. We'll go in game onto the bridge here, and there she is. Yes, we are back on this ship, and I've mentioned before, this is one of my favorite, has become one of my favorite ships here in Star Trek Online. Now, they did use this in Picard, and this is where we saw this awesome model, and they use it again. Whatever, we're gonna go with it. Sure, why not? So what did we do with this? Captains, you're probably gonna shake your head, but that's okay. Here we go. So it's the Legendary Light Intel Warbird, and this is what we did. Now again, we're gonna take it to an advanced Argala, and the purpose of this going advanced only is because this is not a fully built out ship, as you guys can see. Now, having said that, this is just meant to sort of emulate what we saw on screen with, and we're going to be using the only 2 weapons visuals on this ship. So here we go. Let's go over the weapons here. So in the 4 weapons, what I wanted to use to get the look of what we saw on screen were these weapons, the sensor link disruptor beam arrays, which of course we've modified and re-engineered to crit DM damage times 4. They do give off that look. Originally, I had gone with just actually 4, but I decided, you know, let's just go all out. We have this. Now, it's not the main damage dealer, because what I want to be the main damage dealer is what we'll get to in a bit. So again, we have 5 of those. For the set here, we just have the Elite Fleet Intervention Proto-Matter Deflector, which you get from a fleet colony. Your prevailing innovative impulse engines from your competition rep. Temporal Defense Initiative Overcharge Singularity Core. And the Temporal Defense Initiative Regenerative Shield Array. Now, the reason being that I use this is for somewhat the 2-piece, the 25% all damage for overtime for hazard effects, which is kind of plasma based. So again, we're gonna go here, and really anything in advance can work, to be honest, captains. I'm gonna prove that. So here in the aft weapons, nothing. Why? Because we did not see them fire anything from the aft. in that particular scene. Again, it doesn't take much, captains, for me to take inspiration from what I see on screen. Whether this actually is going to help us or not, it's okay. Don't worry about it. So nothing there. Didn't use anything in the experimental weapon. Now, I could use a Soliton Wave Impeller, but just because it doesn't have really a visual that will impede on what we're trying to do. Mind you, you're never going to have 100% canon. Now, we're going to be doing a lot of experimental builds here visual-wise, not necessarily like mechanical-wise, but just to see how they do, I guess, in a sense, because what we want to try to do with the next sort of build vids that we come out with are more screen accurate, and this is going to range from things that we've seen on screen from Strange New Worlds, but also we're going to revisit a couple of ships going back. So devices, will continue on here. We have the kinetic amplifier, or the torp candy, or the plus 30% bonus projectile damage over 20 seconds. But you're going to say, Triz, you have disruptor weapons. Why are you using kinetic amplifiers? Well, we'll get to that. So temporal negotiator. Now, here we go. This is my main damage dealer. The plasma destabilizer. So this came with the ship. This is, again, like legendary ship, so it comes with all the consoles. So to destabilize plasma torpedo, this is the red beach ball of death. So it is a high area of effect damage plus dot. So that's where my damage over time again for the two-piece or the singularity and shield. And then of course it gives you negative damage resistance. So it creates a level 66 mega plasma torpedo. 67,345.3 kinetic damage, and a 2.5 radius. 910.3 plasma damage every 1 second for 15 seconds. 100% shield penetration. 1 minute recharge. So this is what we're basing our main damage dealer on. Hence now we got the torp candy there. Now we have actually put power into our weapons to help these chip away at the shields, chip away at the hull. But again, captains, we are going for visuals. That's it. Could we probably go elite? Sure, but I'm never going to take this into elite. No. This is just for advanced, for our nightly PP shenanigans, as I mentioned. Now, everything else here in the consoles is just to boost up the damage. So we'll go next here. We have the Plasma Warhead module. So for the plus 11.7 torpedo weapon damage. Also came with the ship. The binaural infusion circuits from the low-buy store. The point defense bombardment warhead for the plus 25% projectile damage, plus 1% critical chance. The ultimate modified swarm processor with the plus 0.38 critical chance. The Swarmer Matrix for the plus 30% turn speed, flight speed, and damage for your hangar pets. We don't have that. And targetable torpedoes. Plus 50 projectile weapon training, because this torpedo is targetable. And of course, we are pairing the point defense, which you can get from the NX, any version of the NX. And then dynamic power redistributor module. Now, it comes from your prototype Dreadnought. The Atlas, which you can get from your event campaign as a reward. Again, your 11.3 all damage resistance rating, plus 19% directed energy damage. So it's going to help our beams a little bit. The two-piece here is also going to help our beams chip away at the hull. Of course, for the plus 33% disruptor damage right there. So now we go to our tactical consoles. We have the Lorca's Custom Fire Controls, which is from your Discovery rep. Plus 3.9 critical chance. And of course, the 7.9 weapon power setting and 157.5 Starship Shield Pen. Because why not? And 3 vulnerability exploiters. Because why not, for the critical severity, 9.8%, and the 34.5% torpedo weapon damage, which hoping will boost us up. But again, it's advanced. We always do advanced pretty much. So again, we're just going for that. Now, for our stats and what this gives us a critical chance of 47.9 and crit severity of 222%. Now, captains, keep in mind, of course, I have my Pendevers ranked all the way to 600. So that's helping us out there. Now for our skills, specializations, we have Intelligence Officer and Temporal Operative, so nothing has changed there. Traits, this is what we got. Nothing too different. A Good Day to Die, Projectile Training, Kinetic Precision. We got Unconventional Systems, Resonating Payload Modification. Of course, we're using Romulan Operative, Self-Modulating Fire, Terran Targeting Systems, the Boimler Effect. Starship Traits, Emergency Weapon Cycle. So again, this is going to help us when we use emergency powered weapons. This is going to give us some minus weapon power cost and plus weapon fire speed for our disruptor beams. Here we have Firing Torpedo buffs kinetic damage and resist. So that's where we're going to see some momentum. We're going to use She's a Predator, because why not? We're going to use that because it is a Romulan thing to do. We're going to also use Weapon Synergy. Torpedo performance enhanced by energy weapons. And of course, Overpowered and Overgun. Now, I'm going to address something here that was asked in one of the comments of our previous videos here on why I did not upgrade a ship, or why I don't upgrade ships. And captains, if you've seen some of our build videos, we don't purposefully, actually we do it on purpose, because for the nightly pew-pew shenanigans that we do, I don't think it's required, and I don't think I need to necessarily apply these upgrades or captain tokens, because I would rather use them on tunes that I do plan on doing, like sort of quote-unquote elite content and or things I want to push. This is my main Romulan, but I find that it's, again, it just does fine. So I'm not going for uber performance. I'm going for sort of my quote-unquote immersion and how I have fun. And sometimes I don't necessarily think it's required. Are you going to have an extra trait to use? Sure. Extra console to use? Sure. Do I need it? No. It's just extra DACA, and that goes to some of the things that we've talked about sometimes on the bridge, especially with those soulcasts that we've been doing, that it's nice to have, but it's not required. Thought to bring that out. So Space Rep, we have Advanced Targeting Systems, Precision, Tyler's Duality, Omega Kinetic Shearing, and Torpedo Pre-Fire Sequence. This is important. Of course, it gives us the plus 15.6 bonus torpedo damage, but it also gives 41.3% dischargeable torpedo flight speed, because that destabilized torpedo is slow. And if I'm not careful, captains, I can go boom as well. So just saying. Just saying. Active Space Rep, nothing too different. Again, we have anti-time entanglement singularity, our Biomolecular Shield Generator, Force Challenge, Refractory Tetron Cascade, and Quantum Singularity Manipulation, because that's an additional quote for us. Cloak. Now for stations, this is what we did. Now I understand this is a game. I try to keep the visual spam to a minimum, but you're not going to get away with it. Now it's going to be up to the individual captain of what they will accept in terms of how much visual spam you have. Like I said, our plan builds upcoming. We have some ideas to see how effective it can be, at the very least in the advanced setting. So, but this is what we did here. Emergency power to engines, engineering team, and emergency power to weapons 3. Now, this is a command spot here. You would think I would use concentrate firepower, but I don't have a torpedo other than that destabilized plasma torpedo, aka the red beach ball of death. So I'm just going to use it here to help with that. Now, even though I have my main weapons as the disruptors, I put Fa under just rank 1. Just cause. It's hard to explain, but sometimes I don't feel the need to always one-shot your enemies. And plus, in that scene, it did not necessarily one-shot the Farragut. It took one torpedo, yes, but the beams that kind of hit it didn't take it out. So I'm thinking we're putting that there. But we can use Fa 3, but we've decided to use the attack pattern because I like attack pattern, and that kind of feeds off of the She's a Predator trait. So that's why, in case the captain's wondering. Human Sight Lace Weaponry, Distributed Targeting 2, Burst Attack Pattern Beta 2, and attack pattern Omega 3. For engineering here, we got Let It Go. We got Oxtabat here. Jam targeting sensors, scramble sensors, and photonic shockwave for uncon procs here. So that's what we got there. Now for our dopes, for the dopes, this is what we have. Whether they're going to help or not for the main space ones, I don't know, but hopefully they will. If not, I'm sure we'll still do fine. So the 2 ground helping us in space, Neil Falconer, of course, they will help us with damage increase versus Zeeberg. Elder Megaton, increased damage versus all. Now for active space, here we have the projectile weapons officer, which gives us a chance to stack crit chance and severity when we fire projectiles. I'm hoping that they count that destabilized torpedo as one. If not, meh. I'm pretty sure we'll still get to the missions, captains. Emergency-con hologram, of course, to recharge our evasive maneuvers when emergency-powered engines is activated. Now, for the planned videos, I'm going to explain that I'm not going to possibly use this anymore. And of course, we'll explain why in the future. So stay tuned for that, caps. Brad Boimler, because of toxic clouds from torpedoes. Again, hopefully that's going to help the destabilized torpedo. Whether it works on those types of consoles or not, I don't know. It's there. And a technician, of course, to help with our Oxtabat. So we have Uncon and Oxtabat helping us there to reduce our cooldown. So there you go, captains. That's what we have to work with. Now, again, we're just going to take it into an advanced Argala, see how it does, and then give our conclusion. So here we go. Again, like I'd mentioned, captains, it doesn't take much for us to take, but we know what we can and cannot do, and sometimes the extra dock is not required. So I feel the need to just kind of lean into more really having fun, like we say that we always want to do. So here we go. Let's see if we can do this here without dying. We'll use our cloak here. We'll aim at this cruiser here, and here we go. We're gonna launch this bad boy. Now know that that is a very slow torpedo. I'm gonna come out of cloak 2 as well. As soon as that thing comes close, start firing the beams there. Boom! Yes! That worked out so much better than I thought in my head. Woo! Yeah, that was fun. So let's see what we can do here. We're gonna use our buffs here to see what it can do. The torpedo is there. We'll fully buff up here. We'll launch a little closer. Launch that. Go out here. Boom. We're gonna attack it from behind there. It almost sounds like it too as well, but again, if you look kind of closely, it is sort of emulating where the firing points are sometimes. It depends on where it's leaning towards. You could also probably use dual beam banks, but this does well enough for us. See? So it depends on how you're facing them too as well. So we're gonna launch this. We're 7 clicks away. I wish that would be faster, but it is what it is. Oh, he's gonna track too. Ooh. There we go. Now again, it didn't fully destroy the Farragut, so this thing, and then it also did hit the Enterprise. But we'll show that in another vid. But again, that's the sequence that I was taking inspiration from in terms of build wise. Take that out. Boom! Yes! Yeah, that was fun. Sorry. Sorry, Caps. Let's take out these. Again, it's not perfect visually for the beams, but again, they do their purpose. Even just my beams alone are doing good enough. So even though it's kind of a mixed pot, not really min-maxing anything, it still does its job. And you can notice we're not firing any of the other things. We're gonna fly away here just in case. Oof. Some major damage there. And that till is in the Strange New Worlds clip, that thing was nimble.
We do what we want.
There we go, take care of that. Oh, let's not get too close. Nice.
Picked up a Type D transmission on a new frequency.
Yeah, I feel like it's doing well enough for me.
Now, but it was probably a call for
And I'm okay with that. Again, you can go with whatever rank of powers you want to use if you want to have your beams, but again, I want to make sure that the beach ball of death is doing more of the killing. Let's do this, shall we? Go in. Go in for the kill. We're gonna get a little close, or probably wait until we're about 8 clicks away. Launcher. Uncloak. Hit something. At 12 seconds again here. See if we can take out the last 2 cruisers with that. Or not. I didn't realize the other cruisers were dead. I bet you the red beach ball did that too, but let's pick our marks here. And we'll go over here for our, excuse me, sir, for our shelfies. Captains, if you don't know what those are our ship selfies. We'll park over here and give our final conclusions. Do this, take the hood off. And bam. Well, there you go, captains. That's how it did. And again, the reason why we did this is just to have fun. And I have emphasized that on a lot of the things that we do here on the bridge is just to have fun. I did a poll in the community tab there a couple months back asking how you play the game under Elite, Normal, Advanced, or whatever. And for the most part, a lot of captains played under Advanced. Elite, it's good to have too. Would this work in Elite? I'm pretty sure, but I wanted a certain sort of feel. And we're gonna experiment with that a little bit more. And also it's gonna go lean into sort of our humble beginnings in the channel that I created back in 2014, the Star Trek Battles channel, which is to emulate what we see on screen, aka canon looking pew-pews. So this was a fun ship to just go back to, and again, like I had mentioned, captains, we just took inspiration from that one little scene, and that was enough to spark this. And was it maxed out to the performance? No. But was it fun? 100% for me. And captains, our purpose of doing this is just to show you you can do whatever you want in terms of your builds as long as you are having fun. That is the whole point. Could you get more awards, whatever? I'm at the point here in our STO career that even though you would get quote unquote better rewards under Elite, I don't really need them. I have a lot of marks. So at this point, we just want to have fun. We want to go back to our roots in terms of just emulating on-screen stuff, except the canon look. And really this, when we first saw this in Picard, looked really, really good. So there, captains, like the video, comment below what did you think, and subscribe here to the YouTube Bridge. Look out for more. We have a couple more ideas that we want to get out there, but actually we are going to leave it on this note.
We are creatures of duty, you and I. Just one more duty to perform. Do not be upset. I have accepted my fate. Perhaps someday my sacrifice will lead to an end to this conflict between us.